So today I want to take just a few minutes to talk about the different kinds of businesses you can get into or how you can legally become a business. There's three major ones that I'm going to talk about today. The first is a sole proprietorship. And what that is you're pretty much just an individual or a self-contractor. Just going out, doing work. You're doing business as a DBA or just using your name. But it's just the kind of the most minimum business license you can have. And pretty much what it is you have the benefit of being a business, but the downside is you have no protection whatsoever. You are no longer an employee, so you don't have any of the protections that an employee has. You're scrutinized a whole lot more by the federal and by state laws. So when you're getting into it, be very careful with what kind of jobs you're taking on. And I learned this personally myself and am upgrading because I, for the first year, have been operating as a sole proprietor. I'm now getting a LLC. And what an LLC is, it's a middle of the road between the first one, which is sole proprietor, and the third one I'm talking about is a corporation. LLC is a limited liability corporation or limited liability partnership. And what it is if you're kind of going into partners with somebody, you're going to use this because it really defines, who is, facilitating what and who's getting paid what and who does what in the job or in the business. But if you're just going in for yourself and you're doing an LLC, what that is, you now have the protection of getting, liability is removed from you. It's put onto the business. So your personal stuff is no longer at risk. It still is in a way because someone could still come after you as the person doing the work and your company. And that was brought to light to me just recently, so I kind of dug into it more. And it is true is you have a little bit of liability. Your company ultimately becomes, your barricade to block any liability that would come at you. With sole proprietorship, also, you have to pay a 15% self-employment tax. With limited liability, you don't have to. The income goes into the business, the limited liability, and then passes through to you, the owner. So it's a little bit better. It takes a lot more money and time to get involved with that. But if you're going to take on bigger, more serious jobs, you're probably going to want to look at an LLC. And then thirdly, the biggest one is going with corporation. And there's a certain particular, whenever you file for it, there's a particular form that you need to fill out that's going to guarantee, or, it's part of a contract that says you are in no way responsible in any kind of way for anything done while, doing the job that you're doing for your company. You are, for practical purposes, just an employee. So your company is now a corporation, which the easiest way I can explain it is it becomes its own person, is what it is. It has its own social security number. It has its own persona, so to speak. So everything that someone wants to come against you or your company has to go against that persona, that identification number, that social security. And with the corporation's disclaimer that you have in your contracts that says you are in no way liable, it removes you 100% completely. So if the corporation, no one can come after you personally for anything you've done facilitating work for your company. But that takes a whole lot more finance and a whole lot more time involved with having a corporation. The best thing is take the time to find an attorney or a lawyer. Take the time, talk to them. They'll help you and tell you what exactly you need. You just tell them where you're at, what kind of work you're doing, and some things you might be fined for. I mean, you might get away with being a sole proprietor for what you're doing. I did for a year, but I'm kind of expanding myself and getting into things that I need a little bit more protection from, and I really don't want to keep paying that 15% self-employment tax. So I'm going up to an LLC. But with the lawyer, they'll be able to tell you exactly what's going on, what would be the best for you, and how you'd be the safest, because like I talk about all the time, what you don't know can and will hurt you ignorance is not an excuse in the eye of the court. So if it comes to laws, there's something you didn't know and you break that law, they're still going to hold you to it. So be very careful. But just going into starting a business, be aware you got 3 options. Think about it, or do some more of your research, some more of your own research on which one you think is going to be the best for you. But that was just a quick overview of the 3 that I'm most aware of that you'll probably have anything to do with. Is you're either going to be a sole proprietor, you're going to be a limited liability company or partnership, or a corporation. Hope you guys have a great day, and as always, I'll talk to you later.